Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of the Rebuttal. I'm your host, Robbie A. Shaw, and this week I have almost like my older brother, who I've known for years. Mr. Tyreen Reed is a Texans fan and also is affiliated with the Texans actually is affiliated with Texans, but I'll let him touch on that. And this week, we're going to be talking about the Steelers and the Texans coming up on Sunday, 10 a.m. start here in Arizona, 1 p.m. start on the East Coast in Pittsburgh. And Ty, thank you so much for joining me, man. I've said it like 4 or 5 times. I am really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining the show today, sir.
Man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's good to catch up with you too, man.
Absolutely. It's been a little bit, but and we still have Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but there's nothing like an actual conversation sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and just give a quick recap of last week for anyone who, 1, doesn't watch football and 2, just didn't watch last week. So we played the Denver Broncos in Pittsburgh. And the end score was 21-26, which was actually a lot closer than I hoped it was going to be. Quick recap on the stats. Ben with 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. James Conner, who was not expected to play at all this game. He had a sprained ankle from week 1, but he seemed to bounce back in week 2 with 106 yards on 16 carries, one of those being a huge 50-plus yard run at the end of the game where we were trying to run out the clock. And 1 touchdown. Deontay Johnson came up big with 8 catches, 92 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Chase Claypool, who is our rookie receiver, I think out of Notre Dame, I'm not 100% sure, 3 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. But one of those catches being a 84-yard touchdown pass. That was really pretty to watch. And it was just good to see that. We've always had good receivers. Juju didn't even hit 50 yards this week. He did not have 50 yards this week, but other people did their job, and we won the game. Just to touch on our defense, 6 total sacks for that defense, which in the last 2 weeks, I think, puts us over 10 sacks for the year already. Again, we led it last year with 54. This year, it looks like we're picking up right where we left off. What we haven't done before is, since Ty is here, I'm going to have Ty give a quick recap on the Texans game last week. They are currently 0-2, so I know it wasn't a win. But Ty, you can go ahead and give us a recap of what the Texans did last week. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. So last week, the Texans played at home versus the Baltimore Ravens, and they handed us our behinds, you know. That was 33-16. Lamar Jackson was Lamar Jackson, tossed some touchdowns, you know, and was a headache for the Texans defense. The rookie running back, Dobbins out of Ohio State, along with Mark Ingram, that's an amazing 1-2 combo. And, you know, the Texans, I just don't feel we have enough weapons to keep up with that. Deshaun Watson, of course, was absolutely amazing as always. A few errors, of course, but, I mean, like I said, we don't have the weapons to keep up with Baltimore. Texans defense was pretty good, you know, but just not enough weapons on offense to keep up.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people kind of expected. Like, I watched the Texans game against the Chiefs in week 1, and they came out like they came out and jumped out to it early like they needed to do in order to have a chance to win the game, really. But at the same time, you could tell as the game grinds on that there's not that many weapons. I know David Johnson not enough weapons. David Johnson looked good in week 1, but again, I didn't see the game. And once you said, reminded me it was Baltimore, I was like, oh, sorry. Like, it's
You know, the funny thing, last year when we played Baltimore, I was actually in Baltimore for that game.
Wow.
I think it was something like 40-7 or 41-7. Man, I got so tired of hearing that celebration song for a touchdown. Like, all right, we get it. We get it. Got scored.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine. It's like
it was bad.
I remember seeing some photos of there was a game, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It may have been longer than that, where there were 2 Steelers fans in the audience, and it was a game we won. And you see all these purple jerseys, and then 2 people going,
And Baltimore's not a good place to be when you're team is winning
right.
big and you're cheering hard. Yeah, it's tough. There's some thugs there.
They are. I'm surprised people made it out. I wish I could follow up on that picture.
Yeah. Where are they now?
It's true. I was thinking about, when you said Mark Ingram, I'm like, they must have somebody else doing really well, because I have Mark Ingram on my fantasy football team and he is doing nothing. And I'm sitting there like, what is happening? Speaking of, running quarterbacks, Deshaun is one of the best and he's always a threat.
Yes.
And the thing is, I feel like even they lost D-Hop. Like, we knew it wasn't going to be the same team.
They didn't lose him. They gave him away.
They gave him away, and I'm still in shock because it's so funny when you look at the Texans 0-2. I feel like, if anything, the Texans on paper are a great team, and they're in every game to a certain point. Like,
exactly.
And then there's something where, and I'm not, this isn't a Texans show, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I feel like there's a switch that the teams that win have this switch. But I feel like the Texans right now, and under no fault of their own, I have to really say that. Giving away D-Hop was, and I get they got David Johnson, who looked pretty good. I don't know what he did last week, but he looked good in week 1. But at the same time, if you look at what Arizona did, let's say if you only switch these two pieces.
Right.
And one team has no losses and the other team has no wins.
Yeah.
I feel like
somebody's a winner, somebody's a loser, right?
Right now, it would appear that's exactly the case.
Yes.
So, I'm going to say two things. I said this last week. The Steelers play down to their competition. We know this. We know when there's a game we should win, sometimes they tend to sleepwalk. I don't know what happens, because then when there's other games where we play up to our competition, because we'll play Baltimore, like this is the Super Bowl for us, and then we'll go down and we'll lose to teams that we should absolutely beat sometimes. So, and
like the Browns.
Like the Browns. So, never Cincinnati, though, for the record. It is never Cincinnati.
For some reason.
Everybody beats Cincinnati.
Everybody's Cincinnati.
But we sometimes play down to teams, and based on that, I'm worried about this not being a trap game, because it's too early in the season for it to be a trap game. Like I said last week, even if your team got blown out week 1, that means you're 0-1. Even now, the Texans are 0-2. So it's not as if the season is over. But I feel like the beginning of the season that's when teams aren't as good as they're going to be later on in the season. So if you can get the wins in now, the easier, quote unquote, because every team in the NFL is an NFL team, except for the Bengals. I'm just going to say that again. Every team is an NFL team, so on any given Sunday, anyone can beat anyone. But now teams are still trying to figure out who they're going to beat.
Yeah.
So now is the time where teams like the Steelers, who are 2-0, need to really make sure that they're on their best game, because the Texans season isn't over. They can't fold it in now. They got 14 more games left.
You're absolutely right.
So, as a Texans fan, what are you seeing when you're looking at the Steelers, or what are your thoughts on us just based on what we've talked about, now?
Well, I'm a football fan, and people like you who are Steelers fans, and I follow the Steelers because of people like you. I check in on them, and with me having James Conner on my fantasy team, I gotta watch those games. So James Conner, he's, like I said, the Terminator. He's always been one of my favorites, and he's a weapon that I look out for. Big Ben, his thing being injured last year. Right. Does he have it still? Does he not? And him doing what he does, it's an amazing thing to see. That's always something to watch out for. Juju, watching him, seeing what he's going to do next, and just your whole receiving core is amazing. Like you said, he only had 50 yards last week.
Right.
And Big Ben threw for 300 yards. Who are you throwing to, bro? It's like, who else is on that team?
Right.
So it's amazing. It was all the things, and then, good God, that defense.
Yes.
That defense is crazy. Defense is crazy.
Even though Ben is coming down in skill because he's getting older, he can still do things.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
He's still a Hall of Famer. He still has 2 rings. So
exactly. something else to watch for. You know, those brothers are competitive.
Yes.
So I don't see JJ sitting back and just saying, "Oh boy, my brother's really doing a good job over there." Now he's going to try to come at you guys too, man.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I'm nervous about. You talked about Ben, and Ben is getting up there in years. He did miss. He missed 14 games last season. He got hurt, I think, in the middle of the third game, so he didn't finish that one. And one of the things I was worried about is we were 0-2 with Ben. I feel like we did okay the rest of the season because our defense knew we had no quarterback. Right. But it's like I still feel like if Ben was to go down this year, we're in the exact same boat we were in last year. Our offensive line is not the greatest. But then also the other thing about that too is Ben holds the ball a really long time. Yeah, so all of those things said, I feel like we probably are at the point where we can probably discuss what we think the outcome of the game is going to be. I am going to give you the floor as the guest to tell me what you think the outcome will be, and then feel free to tell me what you think the final score is going to be.
All right, perfect. So I think the slide stops this weekend.
Whoa!
I think the slide stops. Although I said earlier that we don't have all the weapons that we had before, I still think, that team is a prideful team. The coach, O'Brien, he is, but still, I mean, like that's a prideful group. And I think, for nothing else other than tired of losing, they're going to get out of this losing skid. Get the W Sunday, and yeah, I think it's a combination of us tired of losing, you on a winning high, and you're playing down to your competition. And in that fourth quarter, man, once the game is close enough, if the game is close, if you guys come out and just start bombing away on us, and we get our heads down, yeah, sure enough, man, we're gonna lose. But if the game is close in the fourth quarter, I'm talking about within 10. In the fourth quarter, man, Deshaun is going to run the ball if he has to. He's going to throw it, and he's going to do everything he has to win a game. And if it's close, I'm going to call it 27-24 Texans.
Man. Man. But I you know what? I can't even knock it because I appreciate the audacity of that statement. But you literally have a lot of good points. You did point out the fact that the Steelers, like I said, they do play down the competition, but they are a prideful team. And I think every team in the NFL should be, other than the Cincinnati Bengals. Every team in the NFL should be that way. Every team, I don't care what your record is, you should believe that this week you're going to handle your business. And I commend you. You said 27-24. Woo! Yeah. Woo! So I always laugh. When Shamel said he thought the Giants were going to score 27 points on us, I literally said, you think they're going to score how many points?
You said more than 10?
Literally, that's what I said. I couldn't even see the Steelers game because it wasn't on NFL Network. It wasn't on I'm in Arizona, so it's not in my local. And it wasn't on the app. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I was literally watching the play-by-play.
Yeah, that's the worst. If
you've ever watched the game by play-by-play,
I do it a lot.
Dude, I'm watching these things happen, and it's not exactly updating in real time. So
right.
I know something's happening. I'm like, what happened? I don't see anything. And I call my dad, texts me, and I'm like, he's like, you watching the game? I'm like, no, I can't. He lives in Jersey still, so I'm figuring, hey, he has it. He's like, no, they have the local game on. And I was like, what is this a nationwide blackout?
They hate us.
So to say all of that, I say our defense is what we're going to hang our hat on. That is what we are. And our offense is almost a byproduct of our defense. So I'm going to say this, which the Texans scare me. Everything you said is legitimate. They got Deshaun. If you have nothing else. So that makes me nervous. And the thing that I've noticed is when pass rushers have a rushing quarterback, you can't just tee off and go after them.
Right.
Because
once you right by you.
Yep. Once you get behind them, there's nothing you can do.
Oh no!
And
he's gone.
He's gone. If we don't, like you said, man, you're in my head. If we don't start off the way we need to be up 14-0 real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to. We do not need
to.
Yep, we need to get their heads down within the first quarter or the second quarter, so they just coast that way for the rest of the game. And if we do that, if we don't make any bad turnovers like we've done the last 2 weeks, I think we'll win. I'm gonna say 35-21. If we can do that, because I never go that high, right? I never go that high because I don't. Sometimes it's like I said, we don't play as good as we should play. But if we play the way we need to play, we have a chance to be 6-0. We have the Titans, Eagles, Browns, and then the Ravens in Baltimore, October 25th, and that's the game. We need to be 6-0 going into this game. There is no because I know the Ravens are probably going to be 6-0 going into that game.
Yeah,
like this is we didn't have all our pieces last year, and we do have all our pieces now.
Yeah.
So 35-21. I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I'm hoping I'm able to watch this one live. I really am.
Right.
I really want to see this game. I really am hopeful that the Steelers don't do what they always do. This is our test right here to see what kind of team we are mentally this year. We know who this is. Their record doesn't mean anything. It's too early. You've got to come and play the Texans. If you don't come and play them, they're going to beat you. And like 7-24. And I like how you said if it's close within 10 points in the fourth quarter, and because that's exactly what it was last week. I was like, oh, come on, guys, you gotta do something. But Ty, man, this has been so much fun. I told Shamel that if I ever find a week where I can't find a fan, I have him on my list. I'm going to put you on my list if I can't find a fan. Because, like, the Bengals games, I'm not even going to try to look for. I'm riding the Bengals so hard and watching them beat us this year.
Oh, gosh, that's going to be terrible. And look, they got a new quarterback.
And I like him. I like the way Joe Burrow looks.
I do too.
I'm like, okay, this dude he might be real. But it's still the Bengals.
It's the Bengals. Look, this year is going to be a wash for them. I'm just going to pull it. This year is going to be a wash. Next year, maybe we'll see. We'll see if you get some competition next year. But
this year,
have fun with them this year. Punch him back.
Anything you want to say?
By birth, I'm a Giants fan.
Right.
Grew up in Jersey. I mean, from one of my windows, I can look over and see Giant Stadium. You know, you remember?
I remember.
So I'm a Giants fan, but my brother works for the Houston Texans, and listen, the Houston Texans been taking care of me for years now. So I ride with the Texans, and especially since the Giants have been so trash the past couple of years. The Texans have been giving me something to root for. So, I go to Houston. By the way, you got to get to Houston to get to a game, man.
Man, hey, if I can, I will. Listen,
make that a goal of yours to get to Houston. The tickets, I can guarantee you, you'll get it. You'll have a ticket, and they will show you a good time.
Oh,
I mean, field passes, pregame party, great seats, overall good time. Man, my brother will take care of you, and he's been dying for friends and family to come see him, and you know your family. So,
absolutely, man.
But man, Texans are family to me, and they've been taking good care of us, and they got a really good organization.
Ty, thank you so much.
Man,
just for everyone, Sixburg, Lord of the Rings. I had to throw this shirt on today. But this was more. It was worth more when we were the only one with 6. Yeah. But now that this Patriots had to, do we play them this year? You know what the saddest part is? Then I'm gonna let you go. The Patriots. We don't even play them this year. But even if we played them and beat them, it wouldn't feel the same without Tom Brady.
Right, Tom Brady, exactly.
And I know Cam is playing.
Right.
But it's not the same if it ain't
not the same. It's not the same. So, me being a Giants fan, I absolutely hate the Patriots.
Yep.
The whole organization, right?
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom. You know, I don't even like the janitor. But Cam Newton being there, I'm such a Cam Newton fan. Mm-hmm. I'm like, gosh, I want this team to win. But how can the Patriots lose and Cam win? If there's a way for that to happen, I'm all over it. But whatever.
I'm right with you. I need Cam to put up all the numbers in the Patriots to not win games.
Yes. I want him to go like 1-15 and he get the MVP or something like that. There we go.
We got it. We figured it out. The best of both worlds.
There we go. Yes.
Sorry, man. Thanks again. We're going to talk. And like I said, I'm definitely going to have you back on. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me, man.
You know it, my brother.
Oh, man. We'll talk again soon. Tell your brother I said hey, and sorry that y'all going to go down this week.
Sounds good, man. Send love to the family.
Will do. You too. You do the same.
All right, brother.
Later. So, that was a really great time talking football. Like I said, I really appreciate football fans in general because if you're a football fan, we can talk about anything and everything. That is our show for this week. If everything goes according to plan, the Pittsburgh Steelers should be 3-0 starting the season. And like I said, we've got to get to I think we have a good chance to go 6-0. And then week 7 is where the rubber really hits the road. But this is a big test for us this week with the Texans coming into town. And hopefully we play to the level of expectations and the level of skill we need to play to in order to win this game. But only time will tell. So, again, I'm your host, Robbie A. Shaw. This has been The Rebuttal. Thank you for joining me, and tune in next week when we talk about the Titans and Steelers. See you next time.